Okay, everyone. So now welcome back to your second section. Okay, and now we are going to study about the writing, but we still continue with the comparison paragraph. Okay, with revising and proofreading. So the meaning of revising, meaning that you have to use what you have learned so far, and you have to adapt it to the correct one today. And proofreading means you have to read it again and again after you have list the point, or like uh, when you start the organize the event or the sentence logically. Okay, so without further ado, teacher would like you to review some lesson that you have learned so far, everyone. You know that you have learned a lot, such as the okay, this signal word that you frequently use in the comparison paragraph. For the paragraph, can be sometimes can be similarity. They write about similarities, or they write about contrast structure, or sometimes they use the word advantage and disadvantage writing. And therefore, beside this, you have learned the type of word here to show that the thing that is contrast. Okay, like different from, like in contrast, like okay, like but, while, or those. Okay, like especially like the word on the other hand. This word really popular in the writing for the constructive paragraph. Okay, and another you have learned is here this comparison signal, like the word similarity, like also like to. Okay, as like just similar, equals, the same, similar to, equal to, both, and not only but all, but also, right? And don't forget, everyone, last week you have learned here again about the use, the grammar preview. Okay, on page 98, page 98, you have learned here. And also you have, learned about the writing showing about the living condition, whether they want to live with the parents, or they live with, how they live abroad, or when the rain room example. And you also compare with the right brain and left brain, and the two story between Marilyn and Diana Princess. Okay, so today, without further ado, teacher would like you to focus a bit more about the type of comparison paragraph. Okay, so you see here on page 99, everyone, you see the revising paragraph. So our topic, we still focus on the two kind of sport between racquetball and squash. So as you can see in the picture, we have picture like number 1 to number 5. The first of all, we have like the equipment and court. Okay, number 2, the racket. Okay, or with the ball. And number 3, you see the area for playing, sport. We gonna say like this is for both racquetball and squash, but whether how they are different. And picture number 4, you see the difference between racquetball racket and squash racket. And the last one, you see like racquetball area or space with the squash space as well. The two kind of sport, as teacher used to explain you before, is that one, they need to bounce before hitting the ball, and another differences is that they can hit with the surface or the walls surface. But one of that those sports, they can only hit you know like back and forth wall only, not about the surface. And the two kind of spot here, they compare between the similarity of spot that are, similar spot that are different in some ways. So as you can see, the racquetball and the squash, you see their equipment are quite the same, like racket and ball and the area. But what you have to explore more, what are the differences? Okay, so you can recognize for the first sport, okay, the sports are similar in the required equipment and where they play. So the area of playing that sport are similar but not the same. Okay, similar but not the same. Both sports require a racket and a small ball. So is it true for number 1 and number 2? Because of they need, the racket and a small ball to hit. And we have the two linking word here, like however and also. So what are you going to feel here, everyone? As teacher explained you that also we used to show the similarity, and however it used to show the contrast. So you have to use the word also. Both play in indoor. Okay, indoor. They are different. However, in a few ways, the racket is shorter and wider than a squash racket, and the ball is also larger. So the differences is about the squash racket and the ball. Even they are similar in the similar form or similar size. Okay, but what they have the different is between the length. Okay, and okay, and the ball is larger. Also the squash court is smaller than the racquetball court. And the rules of the squash make the game harder to play. So we have like racquetball and squash are very similar, and both require a lot of energy. Let B, the slightly different equipment and rules makes squash a bit harder to play. So here is what are you going to write first. We have like A, B, and C. So letter C already mentioned. They are different, however, it's in a few way. So we have A and B. So can you start to complete this by yourself, everyone? Don't forget to use the linking word as well. We have however and also. So teacher would like to answer for you with this question. So after letter C, we use letter A. Okay, letter A, because of the racquetball and squash are very similar, and both requires a lot of energy. Okay. And then you use however to show the contrast. However, the slightly different equipment and rules make the squash a bit harder to play. Okay, so make sure that you can use the linking word correctly, and you also can write the comparison paragraph. We start from this ABC step. And follow the previous video and previous slide that the teacher used to show you before, everyone. To write a comparative, paragraph, you need to follow the rule. The first one, you have to what style are you going to write? Okay, the style can be point by point organization and block organization. So can you consider this type of rewritings? It is the block organization or the point by point organization. When we talk about the point-by-point organization, meaning that they compare between the two things at the same time, not waiting until they have mentioned one thing completely finished, and then they start to write another, comparing. And the block by block organization, they do like this because of they just want to describe the whole thing with the topic A, and the topic B will be later on, and the conclusion they have to make it very short and brief. Okay. Anyway, everyone, when you start writing, this advantage and disadvantage, so you have to write. I suggest that you have to write a block organization better than point by point organization, because of the audience or the reader, are easier to catch up or to follow the point that you are going to mention. Okay. Don't forget to use the linking word when you show about contrast. When you talk about the similarity, you have to use some the signal word as well. We have a lot here, everyone. Okay, so now it come to the end of your section today, everyone. So thank you very much for paying attention, and see you again tomorrow.